been conducting this session Friday evening, but from this week onwards, we are having this session like this Sunday morning at 5:30, between 5:30 and 5:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. in Eastern Time. So as you know, the first 45 minutes are allocated to practicing guided meditation. And I must say that you come from, in terms of meditational experience, you come from different backgrounds. You have practiced, you have come in different, how to say, you have different levels of experience. And somehow, even though this is a guided meditation session, in case you are an experienced meditator, you are welcome to as the bell goes on one more time, you will sit in a comfortable position. And slowly close your eyes. And leaving your palms together on your lap, with your shoulders dropped and with your chest open, with your back straight and upright. Probably you had a late night last night, and then and you had to wake up early morning. So, but it's always better to meditate in the morning. So be thankful to yourself that you could make it today. And then so it is in the early morning like this that all Sambuddhas or all enlightened Buddhas achieve their enlightenment. So the morning is considered divine in that sense. So, and we will dedicate the first few minutes to practicing deep breath. Bring your attention around your nostrils. Keep your attention around the nostrils all the time. And start practicing voluntary deep breath. As you breathe in longer and deeper, follow your breath mindfully. As you breathe out, also follow your outgoing breath mindfully. And in case you are new to mindful breath, or it is called Anapanasati in Pali, meditation on breathing, you may simply maintain your awareness by only mindfully watching the incoming breath beginning and the outgoing breath ending, both at the nostrils. But I know this is not the first time you are practicing mindfulness meditation. You have done this great many times in your life, and some of you are well achieved higher levels of meditation. But once again, in the group meditation, We cannot accommodate individual members of a group based on their own level of meditation. As I mentioned at the beginning, that's the nature of a group meditation session. So as everyone meditates, in case some of you want to stick to your higher level of meditation this morning, please do so. That being said, so let's start practicing deep breath right now. Breathe in deeper and longer, holding on to the breath for a few seconds, and then releasing it, letting go. Breathing in, holding on to it for a few seconds, and then breathing out. Let's practice. And then you may slowly switch back to your natural breath, normal breath, but continue. And as usual, as you continue, feel the sensations in your mind, in your body. Include your entire body in your mindful breath. You can do so by paying attention to your physical body at the same time, either by scanning your physical body a few times from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, sweeping the entire physical body from head to toes and from toes to head. And that would help you to get rid of any physical negativities. And at the same time, you can feel the expansion of your chest muscles or abdominal muscles in response to the incoming breath, and the shrinking of the same areas in response to the outgoing breath. Most of the time, we neglect our physical body. That everything is impermanent, including our physical body, is a different story. But when it comes to our daily living, day-to-day life, when it comes to our existence, excuse me, we need to take care of our physical body. So as you breathe in and out, and as you watch your breath mindfully, and whenever you feel like you are losing your focus on your breath, you may re-enhance your mindful breath, your mindfulness on breath by taking a long, deeper breath as we did at the beginning. And at the same time, feeling the difference between the two breaths, incoming and outgoing. In order for that, always keep attention, bring and keep attention around the nostrils. And do not get agitated by the surroundings in case the surroundings are noisy. We live our life in noisy surroundings anyway. So the noisy surroundings at this point is called external distraction. And at the same time, some of you might encounter internal distractions as well, such as anti-focused thoughts and memories and feelings, sensations, tendencies of the mind, etc. As those distractions, whether inner or internal or outer or external, occur, do not validate them, do not follow them, simply observe them as they come and go, as they rise and fall. And at the same time, maintain a sense of self-metta. Be kind to yourself. If there is someone who can be kind to yourself, kind to you, at the first place, it is you and no one else. No one else is able to be as to be kind to us, more kind than our own self. We must be kind to ourselves at the first place. So while maintaining a sense of self-love, unconditional self-love, or self-metta, we will now continue this morning meditation session on mindful breath in silence. And then please stick to those simple guidelines as you continue. And I will hit the meditation gong one more time, and then we start. Listen to the fading away of the sound of the meditation gong. We start our session and we continue in silence. In case domanasas or mental pains and dukkha or physical or bodily pains arise, dissolve them by looking at them, seeing them as impermanent. Do not validate them. And think, whenever such negativities arise, consider such feeling, such a mental and physical pain as a blessing in disguise. We all go through pain anyway. That's the nature of the samsara. Simply as such domanasas or mental or emotional pains and or dukkha's or physical or bodily pains arise, simply watch them, observe them, let them go. Let's continue. Problems and illness, sickness, physical illness, loss of loved ones, loss of job, employment, and all that. All those traumatizing situations can make us sad, and some of you um, might have been some of you have been feeling kind of lost or left out. And we all go through up and down of the world, or simply we call them vicissitudes of life. And nobody is perfect. Everybody has to go through pain, sufferings, unsatisfactoriness, etc. And in such situations, what we are supposed to do is, in order for us to start the healing process, is that we start it with ourselves. What is meant by starting with ourselves is that we be kind to ourselves, we radiate, we become compassionate to ourselves, we use our self-confidence, we build up or rebuild or enhance or re-enhance our self-confidence, we trust ourselves, and then we start loving ourselves. If there is someone who is able to love us the most, it is we, us. It is our own self. It is us. It is me. It is I. It is we that we must take care of ourselves. So the best person to love you is you yourself. And let's dedicate the last few minutes to practicing metta. At the same time, practicing self-metta. At the same time, continue, maintain the sense of, maintain your awareness, maintain your mindfulness of breath. As you continue to keep your attention around the nostrils, observing the incoming and outgoing breath mindfully, start radiating loving, friendly thoughts towards yourself by saying to yourself in your head, may I take care of myself happily. Even though there are others who come to my rescue, who come to help me out, beyond a certain point, I need to take care of myself totally by myself. May I be well. May I be happy. May I take care of myself happily. And I also say to yourself, I know the world is not a perfect place. Life is not perfect. There's nothing called perfect, not perfection. Everyone, all living beings have to deal with their own sufferings, trauma, unsatisfactoriness, loss of hope, despair, disappointment, failure to have a sense of fulfillment, etc. In such a world, I'm not the only one. May I take care of myself happily. Despite whatever is going through, whatever happening in my life, whatever, despite whatever I'm going through, I have been going through. You may now open your eyes. Before I start today's talk, I would like to say that we started a discussion on the 7 stages of purification last week. Since everyone knows that I had to switch this session to Friday from Sunday, and we no longer meet on Fridays, but from today onwards on Sundays only. I mean, when it comes to this English medium session, and then you are also aware that from this week onwards, Dhamma talk would be limited to 15 minutes, followed by another 15 minutes of Q&A, question and answers. And then this is how we break it down to the steps. First 45 minutes for meditation, and the next 15 minutes for the Dhamma talk, and the next 15 minutes is for the Q&A, question and answers. The last 15 minutes is for the chanting. However, this week we had to cover the rest of the stages of the 7 stages of purification that we started last week, so that it may take me a bit longer today to finish this topic, and I will strictly limit my talk to 15 minutes from next Sunday onwards. And those who missed this topic may go to YouTube, and then our spiritual friend Kalyana Mitra Shalinda Ranasinghe from Jacksonville, Florida, uploads all our talks, our discussions to YouTube. And then please go to YouTube and listen to the first part of this talk. I think it is the name is Calm Will Mindfulness. Calm Will, CALMVILLE, Calm Will Mindfulness. That's how our friend Shalinda calls it. So that's the name of the YouTube channel. And then again, I would like to say the 7 stages of purification, or simply Sattva Visuddhi in Pali, is a very profound topic. Since I did the first part of the discuss the first 5, I think first 4 stages of purification last week, um, I got lots of phone calls and said the topic was too hard, even though I explained it in simple English. As I would like to say, remember last week I mentioned, this is exactly what I said. I would like to give you a warning sign that don't push yourself to practice these 7 stages of purification because they are in a sequence. And then once again, for recording purpose, and for those who missed the first part of this topic on the 7 stages of purification, Sattva-visuddhi, I would like to first go through the 7 stages. First stage, Sila Visuddhi, purification of conduct or moral conduct. Second stage, Chitta Visuddhi, purification of mind. Third stage, Ditthi Visuddhi, purification of view. The fourth step, Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi, purification by overcoming doubt. In fact, those are the 4 stages that we discussed last week. The fifth stage, Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, purification by knowledge and vision of what is path and what is non-path. The sixth stage, Patipada Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, purification by knowledge and vision of the course of practice. And the 7th and last stage, Jnana Dassana Visuddhi, purification by knowledge and vision. So I don't like to go through what we discussed already. And please go to that YouTube channel and then listen to it. And in case you have more questions, maybe you can call me and have a private or interpersonal dialogue on this. I would kindly recommend that we have interpersonal dialogues on this on this topic rather than group sessions, because different participants practice spirituality at different levels, and you have achieved meditational experience at different levels. So in a group session like this, it is extremely difficult to accommodate everyone's needs. So that being said, let's look at the 5th stage of purification, that is Magga Jnana Dassana Visuddhi. Magga is the path, Amagga, means not. Magga is the path, Amagga is the non-path. And in other words, this is about the right track and the wrong track. So remember when I said last week that it would be that you should be extremely cautious in case you put the last 3 stages of purification into practice, because by the time you come to the 5th, 6th, and 7th stages, you must be able to meditate. You must have achieved higher level of samatha. You should be able to practice Vipassana. In case you don't feel like you are able to focus on your meditation, focus on the impermanent nature of your physical body and the impermanent nature of your feelings, sensations, or in short, mind, so that, and then you may not proceed beyond the fifth stage. You really need, by the time you come to the fifth stage of purification, you must already have achieved stable, you must have already achieved a higher level of samatha or calm meditation. In case you find it difficult to even to maintain samatha or calm, and please do not move to the fifth stage. And we repeatedly mentioned that the last week. And after the first part of the topic, as I said, some of you called me and said that you find it extremely difficult to practice these 7 stages of purification. And then I happened to say, okay, yes, for now, please study the 7 stages of purification for your general knowledge. In other words, it will remain theoretical, not practical, not applied. So about what is the 7 stages of purification, or on the 5th level, that is Magga Magga Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, or purification by knowledge and vision of what is path and what is non-path. So you achieve this level, excuse me, by practicing Vipassana, in which all mental and material phenomena are seen in light of the Buddha's teaching of Tilakkhana, or the 3 marks of existence. That is to say, anicca, that is impermanence, and dukkha, that is unsatisfactoriness, and anatta, the absence of a permanent soul or self. Once again, by the time you come to the 5th stage of purification, you have achieved a stable samatha or calm, that you don't complain, that you can focus on the nature of your physical body, the nature of your mind. You can focus on your breath. You can do metta, and there's no room. By the time you start practicing this level, there's no room for complaints, that you can focus. That's what I mean by that your samatha, your calm, is thoroughly stabilized, and then whereby you never happen to complain, that you can focus. In case you do, and please don't try this stage, the 5th stage. So as you sit in meditation, and as you put yourself in Vipassana mode, and then as you continue to encounter physical and mental pains, and disturbances or distractions from within and from your surroundings, you simply dissolve them by looking at them not as permanent, but as conditionally arising, but by convincing yourself that those distractions, whether inner or outer, internal or external, and so sorry, I had to pause at times to admit newcomers to the meeting. I must say that for recording purpose. So, and then and also, as you put yourself in Vipassana mode, as physical pain arises or the mental pain arises, you dissolve such pains right away by convincing yourself that those pains are not permanent. Because why? By nature, as average human beings, we maintain, we we only see positive feelings, positive sensations, positive situations as impermanent. Most people find it, most people do not even think that negative situations, negative conditions are impermanent as well. So on this level of purification, you simply look at all conditions, all life situations, all conditions with regard to physical body and mind, not as permanent, but as anicca or impermanent. And because they are impermanent, because because a certain condition or a situation is impermanent, it is for sure uh, is becomes a source of dukkha or unsatisfactoriness. Whatever impermanent leads to a sense of unsatisfactoriness, so leads to a sense of unfulfillment. That is what you mean by dukkha. And then, in such a situation, when things are impermanent, hence leading to a sense of unsatisfactoriness or dukkha, and they cannot be considered having a sense, having a permanent essence or a permanent or a fixed value. So whatever is impermanent, whatever uh, whatever is impermanent, and of course, so that it is dukkha, is absent of a soul or a self, is absent of a permanent soul or self. And that's the tilakkana, or the three marks of existence. Right here. And always existence is understood by looking at it. Existence means our life, our existence, our living, our samsara. By looking at samsara, our life, our living, in light of the three marks of existence, anicca, dukkha, and anatta, and then as we continue in vipassana mode, we dissolve all the negative feelings, negative sensations arising due to our inability to understand or comprehend that the world, our existence is not permanent. Our life is not permanent. There's nothing called permanent. And then, and also please remember that on this level, it is not theoretical imagination, but actual vipassana meditation that must be completed. So so that is the path. The path here is that everything is subject to impermanent. Everything is impermanent, hence dukkha, hence absent of a permanent soul or a self. That is the path. The path here once again is to looking at all phenomena in light of tilakkana, or the anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And what is non-path then? The non-path here is the belief that the existence of an indestructible soul. So the non-path is here the belief that there is nothing called an indestructible soul. At this point, I would like to say that in case some of you believe in a soul that is permanent and that would remain a building block to your nirvana one day, because actually that is where the Buddha's teaching begins. Buddha was born into a society which was largely theistic. In Hindu society, in his contemporary society, Most people believed in a permanent soul, permanent self that was created by Brahman or God. And then so that Buddha rejected that idea. Even Brahma himself is impermanent. Even his own soul, that his cosmic soul, is impermanent. So the non-path here is the belief in the existence of an indestructible soul. And the path here is that nothing is permanent, even the universe itself. And that's the stage number 5. And then, as I told you this week, so that we will have more time to finish this topic. And from the next week onwards, we will have single term short Dhamma talk. Single terms means we only choose one single Buddhist term and then we just carry out our discussion. So the numbers, the stage, so the 6th stage of purification is Patipada Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, meaning purification by knowledge and vision of the course of practice. And by the time you come to this stage, you are having a mature phase of the knowledge of arising and passing of mental and material phenomena. And by the time you reach this stage, which is the stage number 6, and you are aware of 9 types of vipassana. And these 9 types of vipassana, there are 9 types of vipassana. And then let me go through the list. So the first is knowledge of arising and passing away, and that is called Udayabhyana. That is Udayabhyana, and we had discussions, lots of discussions on Udayabhyana in our previous sessions. And then Vipassana type of Vipassana knowledge number 2 is knowledge of dissolution, Bhangajnana. And don't worry, in future dialogue, future discussions, we will come back to these ones during in our future Sunday morning gatherings, meetings. We will go through these terms, topics as single term topics in the future. Right now, in any case, as I would like to remind you once again, in a group dialogue like this, is extremely difficult to accommodate everyone's need for knowledge. So type 2 is knowledge of knowledge of dissolution, that is called Bhangajnana. And number 3 is knowledge of the fear, Bhayajnana. Number 4 is knowledge of danger, Adinavajnana. And number 5 is knowledge of disenchantment, Nibbidajnana. And number 6 is knowledge of desire for deliverance / emancipation, Munchitu Kammita Jnana. Knowledge of desire for deliverance, emancipation, Munchitu Kammita Jnana. And number 7, knowledge of reflective contemplation. Knowledge of reflective contemplation, that is Patisankha Jnana. Number 8, knowledge of equanimity about formations or formations, that is Sankharupekha Jnana. And number 9, knowledge of conformity or adaptation, Anuloma Jnana. Now these are the 9 stages of purification, 9 types of vipassana. Once again, I don't like to go through these one by one because this is so that in the future discussions we will go through this. Because as you know, once again, I'm saying this for the 20th time maybe. I have mentioned multiple times for your general knowledge that until you have achieved a stable level of samatha, and please don't try is the stages number 5, 6, and 7. And of the stage number 6, Patipada Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, purification by knowledge and vision of the course of practice. So it is a mature or the much higher level of Vipassana that you need. And then so that when you have achieved that, and then again you continue to practice different levels of different facets of Vipassana. Once again, there are these 9 types of Vipassana. So that being said, let's go to number 7, the last one. Jnana Darsana Visuddhi, that's the last one. Purification by knowledge and vision. Now this is the 7th and final stage of purification. On this stage, you continue to develop 4 types of path knowledge. 4 types of path knowledge means Magga Jnana. Magga is path, knowledge is Jnana, Magga Jnana. And what are they? What are those 4 types of path knowledge, Magga Jnana? First, knowledge of the path of stream entry, that is Sotapanna Magga Jnana. Number 2, knowledge of the path of one's return, Sakadagami Magga Jnana. And number 3, knowledge of the path of non-returner, Anagami Magga Jnana. And the 4th and last, knowledge of the path of Arahanthood, Arahanta Magga Jnana. And in other terms, you are familiar with this. In other words, they are called the 4 stages of enlightenment. And then each stage is divided into 2, Magga path and Phala fruit. You walk in the path is called Magga. And you have knowledge of the path that you walk is called Magga Jnana. And then having walked the path towards the first or the second or the third or the 4th level of enlightenment, you reach the destination. That is called Palajano, or the fruit. Pala means fruit, or the effect, or the outcome, or the profit. So Palajana is knowledge. So that is the fruit. That is what you achieve. And then so again, when it comes to this 7th stage of purification, you are ready to achieve at least the first stage of enlightenment. That is called stream entering. That being said, those are the 7 stages of purification. Once again, I would like to say, so in 10-day retreats, 15-day retreats, we don't discuss any other topics but these 7 stages of purification. The 7 stages of purification can be considered an encapsulation of the Buddha's entire, all fundamental teachings of the Buddha. That's how it is. So that it's 6:43 now, and then so that that you know that our new arrangement of how we conduct this program this week onwards, 45 minutes for meditation, 15 minutes for Dhamma talk, another 15 minutes for Q&A, and the last 15 minutes for chanting. But today we had to stick to the old schedule. From next Sunday onwards, we will stick to the schedule that I just announced. And now I welcome any questions you are having, please. in case you need to discuss these 7 stages of purification with me personally. And I think that I would recommend that actually, because this is such a hard, profound topic. And please call me. We can set up a time and go through these 7 stages of purification individually. And in case you find like you are having a kalyana mitra or spiritual friend whose knowledge is uh, equal to your knowledge, I think it is not. There's no way to. It's politically incorrect to say equal knowledge. There's no way to determine how much knowledge you have. But in case some of you are interested in having another friend, and so that you can have a group session with me for this dialogue, or in case, I know some of you already told me that you started practicing this 7 stages of purification, and some of you told me that you are more interested with starting with the purification stage number 3, that is purification of view. Yes, it makes sense. It does make sense. Why when it comes to, actually one of you reminded me that you need to consider practicing the 3rd stage, that is Ditti Visuddhi, purification of view, at first, because Ditti, right view, is the first one of the Noble Eightfold Path. But here again, however, why I started with Sila Visuddhi, or the purification of moral conduct here, is that is how Buddha has mentioned them. Why? Because the first 2 stages are called, they are groundbreaking stages, meaning you prepare the grounds for your continued process of purification. And then so that moral conduct is universal, regardless of our background, spiritual, low ethnic, or any other background. We all, as human beings, we need to have some moral principles observed and being practiced. And we, at the same time, overall, we need to have our mind, we need to maintain the clarity of our mind. And so that we need to have a sense of no guilt, we need to have a sense of morality, personal moral conduct. So that's why Buddha started these 7 stages of purification with Sila, or purification of moral conduct, Sila Visuddhi, and Chitta Visuddhi, purification of mind. And then you can think about your view or ditti. But again, it should not prevent you from trying to purify your view first. Because as I said, as some of you reminded me, asked me whether you could start with view. Yes, you could, because that's the first one of the Noble Eightfold Path. And once again, for those who missed out the last session, and please go on YouTube, and our spiritual friend Kalyana Mitra Shalendra Sirivardhana from Jacksonville, Florida, has uploaded the first part of this topic to YouTube, and then under Calm Well Mindfulness, CALMVILLE, Calm Well Mindfulness. And that being said, I would like to do the morning chanting. So we have 10 minutes left. And in this morning, I know some of you had a late night last night, excuse me. And then most of you attending this morning session are from around the US and Canada, from US East Coast, and some of you are from London, UK, some of you are from Sri Lanka. And then so That being said, thank you for joining this morning session, despite possible difficulties, and some of you lost your loved ones last week, and then we wish all happiness for their samsaric journey until their salvation of nirvana. That being said, so that continue to do your meditation, continue to practice your meditation, and then may you all be well, happy and peaceful. And then so we all need to love ourselves at the first place. Even though there are people whom you say are ready to come to your rescue, but they themselves they have to deal with their own problems. Of course, a Kalyana Mitra is such that he or she comes to help you despite their own problems. That's how wonderful they are. I know most of you are having at least one Kalyana Mitra, one trustworthy spiritual friend. As a Buddhist monk, I am a Kalyana Mitra to all of you. So that I would like to help everyone in my capacity. And I know all of you help each other despite your own problems, despite your own emotional problems, despite your own health issues, financial difficulties. And I appreciate that. And may you all be well, happy and peaceful. Blessings to you all. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Mahakaruniko nato itaya sabbapaninam puretva parami sabba patto sambodhimuttamang etena saccavajjena hotu te jaya mangalang jayanto bodhiya mule sakyanang nandivattano evam tuihang jayo hotu jayasu jaya mangalang Sakkatva buddharatanang osadhang uttamang varang hitam deva manussanang buddha tejena sattinana santu pattava sabbe dukkha vupasamintu te sakkatva dhammaratanang osadhang uttamang varang parila vupasamanang dhamma tejena sattinana santu pattava sabbe Bhayavupasamintu te sakkatva sangharatanang osadhang uttamang varang ahuneyang pahuneyang sangate jena sattinana santu pattva sabbe loka upasamintu te yang kinchi ratanang loke vichati vividha putu ratanang buddha samang natti tasma satti bhavantu Yang kinci ratanang loke vichati vividha putu ratanang dhamma samang natti tasma sotti bhavantu te yang kinci ratanang loke vichati vividha putu ratanang sangha samang natti tasma sotti bhavantu te natti me saranang anyang buddho me saranang varang etena sacca vajjena Hotu te jaya mangalang natti me saranang anyang dhammo me saranang varang etena sacca vajjena hotu te jaya mangalang natti me saranang anyang sangho me saranang varang etena sacca vajjena hotu te jaya mangalang sappitiyo vivaccanto sabbarogo vinassato Mate bhavattvantarayo sukhe dīghāyuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata Sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Yandun nimitang abamangalancha yocha manapo sapunassa satto papakka hodus supinang akantang buddhanubhavena vinasamento Yandun nimitang abamangalancha yocha manapo sapunassa satto papakka hodus supinang akantang dhammanubhavena vinasamento Yantun nimittang avamangalang yocha manapo sakunassa sattu papakkaho dussupinang akantang sanghanubhavena vinasamintu dukkhapatta ca nidukkha bhayapatta ca nibbhaya sokapatta ca sokha hontu sabbe pipanino sabbe sucakkavalesu Yakha deva ca brahmano yang amme katang punyang sabba sampatti sadakang sabbe tang anumoditva samakka sasane rata pamadarahita huntu arakha suvisesato sasanassa chalokassa buddhi bhavatu sabbada sasanam pichalokancha devarakkantu sabbada Sadding hontu sukhi sappe parivare hi attano aniga sumana hontu sa sappe hi nyati bhi rajato va chorato va manusato va amanusato va agito va udakato va pisachato va bhanukato va kantakato va nakkhatato va janapada rogato va satthammato va sanditthito va asapurisato va chanda atyasamiga kukura hivityaka manisapadipi accataracca sukara mahisayakkarakka sadihi nana bhayato va nana rogato va nana upattavato va arakkanganhanto Danang dadantu sattaya silang rakkantu sabbada bhavana virata huntu gaccantu devata gata sabbe buddha balapatta paccekananchayam balang arahantanancha te jena rakkang bandami sabbaso sabbe buddha balapatta paccekananchayam balang Arahantanancha te jena rakkang bandhami sabbaso sabbe buddha balapatta paccekanancha yambalang arahantanancha te jena rakkang bandhami sabbaso. Sharing of merit with all devas and all sentient beings, with the terrestrial or celestial. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Akasattha ca bummattha devānākā mahittikā puññantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu loka sāsanang Akasattha ca bummattha devānākā mahittikā puññantang anumoditva cirang rakkantu desanang Akasattha ca bummattha devānākā mahittikā Punyam tang anumoditva chirang rakkantu tvang sada. Sharing of merit with all our departed friends and relatives. Last week, days ago, mothers of two of our Kalyana Mittas passed away. That is to say, our Kalyana Mitta, John Gather's mother passed away days ago. And in our Kalyana Mitta, Huey Adams' mother passed away days ago, and may all our departed friends and relatives, including those two mothers, share our spiritual vibrations of punya, our good karma, and by sharing our merits, may they be well, happy, and peaceful. May all our departed friends and relatives, wherever they are, be able to remain on the safe side of the samsara until their salvation of nirvana. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Let's make our spiritual wish. May I never happen to seek the company of the unrighteous and unwise people. May I always be able to enhance, yeah, so improve myself in terms of wisdom and righteousness until I one day attain my salvation of nirvana, which is the highest wisdom and righteousness. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hoto yava nibbana patiya. And have a beautiful day, everyone. And thank you for joining. And please unmute you. Okay.
Thank you,
you all.
Bhante. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.